Well, I picked up, I thought it was really interesting. You're talking about questions, and, this is a very simple thought, and I think it's fantastic, but, a vague question gets a vague answer, or a specific question, gets a specific answer. And I think it was really pertinent when you were talking, people do ask about their careers, relationships, all those types of things.
Of course, and it's very important questions.
Right, and there's a lot of questions to be had, and I think a lot of people have a hard time asking, the right questions. And so how do you help navigate that for people?
What I say when I start a session is, what do you want to talk about today? What are some of the things that would be helpful for you to know right now? Versus what are your questions, right?
Yeah.
And so it starts a dialogue.
Right.
Now I tend to have more of a spiritual counseling, intuitive counseling type dialogue very often, but some people are like, I want to know when is Joe gonna, poop or get off the pot and marry me? Right. Do I have job security? Can I retire in 2022?
Right.
They're very specific. But one of the questions might be, I had a young man, well, I don't know how young he is, but I had a young man talk to me, and he's like, I got to get out of this house. I got to leave. And so, where should I go? I got to get out of this place. And I'm like, well, what are you hoping the move will accomplish? And he had two different answers. One, a restart, nothing wrong with that. And the other was financial security. And I said, well, do you have, because I can't pull a town out of my head, I said, do you have any places you're thinking of? He says, oh yeah, Alaska, or I forget where the other place was, let's say Virginia for sake. Well, it turned out Alaska would be great for a restart, but Virginia would be better financially. So if we didn't have a specific enough question, I might get to, well, they're both okay, right? They'll both get you out of the basement,
Well, it just sounds like a lot of this it takes a lot of practice, a lot of practice and continuous
You have to keep
thinking.
drilling down.
Yeah, and really honing in.
Yeah, you drill down. But a lot of times people don't have questions.
Right.
They come into the psychic because it's fun. Let's go to the psychic. I used to do that, And so I'll often ask my guides, what does this person need to hear?
Right.
Or I'll ask my guides, I'll guide it, and I use tarot cards as my medium, one of my mediums, modality, whatever you want to call it, and I do a spread that covers maybe 14 or 15 different topics. And I'll talk a little bit about everything. But again, it's vague. So it's going to get vague, a little bit of everything.
Right. Do you think that a lot of people start off vague, and as they get more in tune and trusting their intuition, that they can hone in and get more specific as time goes on?
I think the more dissatisfied you are with the quality of the answer is what makes you get more specific.
That's true.
Is this job going to make me happy? Well, let's see. So if someone really will not work with me on this, I will say, well, let's do it this way. Will you be glad you took that job 6 months from now? And that's pretty much a yes or no answer. But if I say no, they're automatically going to say, why? Well, let's look. Let's get deeper.
Yeah.
Will you be happy with the quality? And then, and a good psychic can really take over the reading but my feeling is I want to make sure I get all your answers that you want.
Which is great.
So I will then, after doing this for 30 years, the types of questions people want to know, So will you feel fulfilled? Will this support you financially? Will you get along with coworkers? Oh, that's a weird question right now, right?